How's it going, everyone? College Lefty, and in this video I have for you all the games for World Series. I'm going to be trying to play a few games in this video. If you guys were a part of the live stream, then you already saw some of these clips, but I tried to get as many games as possible in the last few days since you only have until the 15th in order to unlock this Chipper Jones. The next World Series reward will be Signature Series Babe Ruth. So you're going to want to try and get Chipper Jones now, because if you make World Series next month, you're going to obviously want to select that Babe Ruth card. So that's kind of the strategy there. In this first game, I was able to get something going. I started off this ranked seasons, I guess, kind of stream at 841 rating. If you notice in the top left corner, I will have my rating at the pregame loading screen when I match up with these players. So it's just to include that along with the way. I wanted to try and include as many clips as I could from the actual gameplay from these games. So anyway, in this next one, we started off a little bit slow. Already have 2 down in the first inning. Looking to get a 2-out rally going. Ted Williams launches that one off the wall. We're playing at a minor league stadium that has probably a double wall out there throughout the entire outfield. So a little bit of a bigger field. I've played here a couple times, and I do like the field. However, there aren't going to be that many home runs hit in this one, I don't think. So we're trying to get an early lead, a nice 2-out rally, base hit up the middle with Rogers Hornsby in the 4 spot. I'm really liking using that Rogers Hornsby card. I've used him at shortstop pretty much for the most part ever since I unlocked him. I'm trying to get Chipper Jones, though, so that way I have an option to sell him and unlock Honus Wagner. If I can try and pursue that Honus Wagner, I think that's probably the card that everyone wants to unlock this year at some point, at least try him out. And I want to use that card at shortstop. I want to use him at some other positions as well. So if I'm able to win World Series, I might go ahead and do that. But we are quite a few games away. At 851 rating, I still need about 3 wins in a row. If you give or take 20 points of victory, you might get 25 points for maybe someone in the World Series already. But the rating mod definitely matches you up with people that are around your division. It just depends on the exact rating points that they have, how many you're going to gain, how many you're going to lose. In this game situation right here, I had an opportunity to kind of break the game open. I got thrown out with George Brett at third base, and that resulted in a shorter inning. I pretty much gave away another out. I had a runner in scoring position, and I was unable to capitalize. But to start the next one up, Roberto Alomar sending a double into the gap. That's going to be just enough to get into second base there. Stand-up double from Alomar. A base hit later on in the game from Willie Mays, a nice base hit from the pitcher as well. I was using Madison Bumgarner in this gameplay, and one of the better pitchers in my rotation. I have not yet locked that card in, but I haven't sold him ever since I unlocked him from like the second inning program. He's always been in my lineup. I've probably taken him out a handful of times, but definitely one of my favorite pitchers to use in this game. But just trying to break this game open. No lead is safe in MLB The Show, and anytime you're given extra outs, you're given an opportunity to try and tack on a couple more runs. So far throughout this video, throughout this live stream, I have been able to square the ball up consistently, put up a good amount of runs. I was able to get a quick win in the first game. Now we're in the second game with a 6-0 lead. This opponent isn't done, though. He's able to come back in the game. Madison Bumgarner is at a very nice pitch count, though, so I'm looking to try and extend him as long as he can go. I mean, if he can throw a complete game shutout, that would be ideal. If he can just throw a complete game in general, it will give the bullpen a little bit of rest. That's another thing to keep in mind as you're making a push towards World Series, trying to get that reward. You want to get a couple quits later on. If you're in the CS division and you're able to get a few quits, that might help you for the actual game for World Series once you get to enough points or enough rating points to where you're 1 game away, 10 points, 12 points, 15 points away. You want to try and have a rested bullpen just in case something happens to where your pitcher gets rocked or something like that. In this specific game, we're going up against a really good opponent. He has a very good team, and surprisingly, he's using Justin Verlander. The few times I've faced Justin Verlander in this game, generally, he's pitched pretty well against me. People that use him and still use him to this day seem to pitch really well with him. Obviously, they wouldn't use him if they didn't. And for me personally, I cannot use this Verlander, even though he's one of my favorite pitchers. I can't use him in the game. He gets rocked. And in this one so far, I've been able to hit him all right, but it's going to take quite a few runs in order to stay in this ball game. I have a feeling that this guy can definitely hit the ball well. I was able to tack on 1 run in the first inning, but we have Nolan Ryan on the mound, and if he misses his location, this ball could absolutely be crushed. I know going up against a good opponent, Nolan Ryan's probably the last pitcher I want on the mound. I'd probably rather have any of my other pitchers in the lineup because they have more control. They'll be better quality for a good player like this. this guy was hitting everything. Everything was squared up. Even his hard hits that were outs resulted in, they were resulting in highest velocity outs. He was all over the baseball. He got an opportunity there in the first inning. A tailor-made double play ball from Harmon Killebrew. It gets by George Brett. It's unfortunate, but anytime you give a good player extra outs, as I mentioned before, when I received a couple extra outs, I was able to score a couple more runs. The opponent is going to do the same exact thing. Now, it's important to keep in mind when you're making a push towards World Series, not everything is riding on this one game. So even though I'm having some misplays in the outfield, even if I lose this game, I'm only at 871. I'll probably drop about 20-something points. I'll still be in a good position to get a nice win streak going and try and make World Series, even if we drop this game. So just something to keep in mind. You have to have a nice mindset when you're trying to make World Series. If you haven't done so already, and in this game, I've had some opportunities to chip away at the deficit. And the thing that makes it pretty difficult to try and come back in a game like this is knowing that you gave up 4 runs in the first inning. This opponent can definitely hit the ball. He's also a follower of the channel. He's a supporter of the stream and everything. So he knows who I am, and he had some of his friends in there watching the game. I think that that's pretty awesome that he was a part of the live stream, as well as he's a good player. So this is definitely a lot of fun. But to keep in mind that I'm just trying to keep him from scoring any more runs as he hits a home run right there. Trying to keep him from scoring, knowing that I have to try and have really good at-bats from here on out if I want to make this comeback. Try and keep him off the board. As you can see from the score now, that was not the case. This guy was hitting everything. He was all over it. He outplayed me 100%, and I just have to go into the next game. After I got mercy ruled, 14-4, he had a grand slam there in the 8th inning. There wasn't really any chance I was coming back in that game, but he really made it certain that there was no chance for me coming back. I haven't been mercy ruled in quite a while. Wanted to include that in this video, and I also wanted to talk about how you can respond. I just got mercy. The next guy I go up against, he sends me a friendly quit, and he was a little upset that I denied it, said that he thought that I was a far better player than him. But I think that anybody can win this game. I think that with the way the game is, I think that anybody can win if you have a really good game, put together some good at-bats, have one big inning or a couple big innings. Makes it really challenging for really anyone of any caliber to keep up with you. That last guy, I'm not a terrible player at this game, but that last guy outplayed me. He made me look pretty bad. Scoring 14 runs, I wasn't able to hit. I had some opportunities to score, but I'm not going to get down on myself. I'm not going to think, wow, that guy is flat out just better than I am. No, he outplayed me for sure, but just for the 9 innings. If we were to play again, it might be the same type of game, but who knows? I might be able to win one, might be able to score more runs, have some better at-bats. It's just a different game each time you join in, so that's something to keep in mind. I think that there's a lot of mental aspect behind trying to make World Series. Before I made World Series, I would always get nervous in this situation. I would try a little bit too hard, almost try and do too much. I would start to play a little bit of a different game. The most important thing is to continue to play as consistent as you can. I'm one of the most streaky players at this game when I'm hitting well. Sometimes I can't be beat. If I'm not hitting well, then obviously I'm in a slump, and I can beat myself just as easily as someone can outplay me. But in this one, this opponent was able to come back. This was a great game. He's played a ton of games. He has like 500 games played in the season for the entire game cycle, which is a lot of games. I only have like 200 and something played. So if you have a lot more games than I have played, then that's saying something as well. I'm trying to make videos, but at the same time, you have that experience. You have you're good at the game. He was able to make it a 1-run game. I was able to clutch it out. We moved back up to 871, so kind of swapped points with the other guy that mercy ruled me. He was at around 870. I dropped to around 850, got the points right back, and that's the way it can go. I hopped into another game. I didn't want to get down on that loss. I wanted to end on a win. So I ended the stream there. I started up again the next day because, of course, I was in a slump. Anytime I'm in a slump, I'm not going to just keep playing the game and expect something different to happen. If I'm not playing well for the first, for a couple hours, then I might take a break, come back to it, and try to make World Series and get the reward that way. But in this game so far, I had a slow start. I had a couple outs in the first inning. Was a pretty bad inning. I threw away a couple at-bats. I was able to get something going there. He tied it up. I responded well with the home run, and the following batter, Ted Williams, another home run. Since picking up this Ted Williams, he's been great out there for me in the outfield. Hasn't had too many misplays. Hasn't even had that many chances out there, but really good hitter. He's hitting 400 something for me. Same type of thing with George Brett, hitting right around 400. he hits the home run. That causes the opponent to quit. He was also following the channel, a really good player as well. Just I got something going there early on in the game. It continued throughout, scored 5 runs. Felt like that guy could have easily come back in the game, but he just wasn't feeling it. It is what it is, and we'll hop into this next one. So this will be the game for World Series. 888 rating, and this is probably the most important game I've played of the entire season. I'm at 15-4 for my record before this game, so I've won the majority of the games, but if I lose this one, it could down spiral into a losing streak. That is always a chance for that to happen, but at the same time, as long as I continue to play the same game, today specifically, I was hitting the ball a little bit better than I was yesterday, which were some of those clips at the beginning of the video, but I was trying to get something going. 2-out rallies are absolutely huge in this year's game. If you're able to get something going with 2 outs, you can really lower the confidence of the pitcher. So I got a nice, just late, squared up hit there. I was a little bit late on it, but I was looking for that pitch up in the zone with Hornsby, and I still got rewarded even though it wasn't the greatest swing. I have to take pitches. I have to select a pitch to swing at in this specific situation because there is 2 outs. I'm facing a lefty, Kershaw, one of the best pitchers in the game, and luckily he throws one over the middle. I squared it up, sent it into the gap, and that's going to be huge. Anytime I'm able to take an early lead, especially with 2 outs, that is absolutely huge. I wasn't able to score from first base because he got that ball in rather quickly with Willie Mays in center field. I thought that pitch was a slider. It was actually a changeup over the middle, got too much of the plate, and followed up by a base hit down the line, out of the reach of Frank Thomas. That's going to tack on another 2 runs. So I wanted to kind of take you guys through some of this game just because it was part of the stream. I will link the stream as well. I'll link both of the streams from this video for all the games if you want to watch the entirety of a game or something like that. But here's actually the first play where Ted Williams misses the baseball. This didn't count as an error or anything, it counted as a double, but he just didn't get to it. That was out of his reach, something that I hadn't necessarily seen from him, but of course, it happens in the game for World Series and gives him a chance with Frank Thomas, one of the best hitters against lefties, if not the best one, to hit a 2-run shot here. Anytime you give a good player extra outs, that they're going to take advantage, or if they do take advantage, it's going to affect the game, and it's going to affect the outcome of the game. But basically, I was feeling pretty good about this game. I wanted to try and record this live. I thought about killing the music for the stream, recording a live commentary for this video, but I'm actually kind of glad I didn't, because I was able to get the pop-up. I kept the music going, and we lose connection. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to make a longer video with just the game for World Series. I kind of had to string together a lot of these games to make a video, but that guy was already in the World Series. I think I played him either earlier this year, the same field, the same matchup against Kershaw. Maybe it might have even been live series Kershaw, but the same guy, I think I played him either this season, this year's game, or in last year's game at the same field with Kershaw as well. So kind of confusing. I had a little bit of deja vu there, but just the name, the place, and the pitcher I was going up against, I feel like I had played that guy once before. But we are going to be unlocking the Chipper Jones card. We're going to be opening up the World Series pack right here. The only season I haven't made World Series in this game is the one for Craig Kimbrell. When they released that Craig Kimbrell, I didn't really play that many games. I made it to the championship series, and I kind of just stopped there. Didn't have time to finish it up. But I wanted to try and finish the World Series run off this season to get that Chipper Jones. Definitely a valuable card. And I might go ahead and sell him and try and unlock that Honus Wagner. Now, with Chipper Jones being released now, I think when Babe Ruth comes out, his price could go up. I was kind of making a little bit of a joke saying I'll take one of the other World Series rewards. I had to take Chipper, obviously. He's going for 4 times or 3 times the amount as some of the other cards. But that's going to do it for this video. Thank you all for watching this World Series video, and hopefully I can give you some tips, or I gave you some tips that can help you in your run. But until next time, everyone, have a great day, and peace out.